On the 3rd of February, 2011, a young Angolan fighter made his professional MMA debut at EFC 7. Little did the audience know that they were watching the start of a legacy.
Everything was just like a blur. It's like a dream where you don't really recognize the people around you. You just want to go out there and make sure you perform. The game plan was just to go out there and make sure that you get the win as fast as possible. So it was quite a surreal feeling to go out there and be able to finish the fight like the way it did.
Another dominant performance came at EFC 8 against Jean-Luc Casadi. 2 fights, 2 wins. A shot at the featherweight title was next.
At this stage, I was already working on racing for about 6 to 7 years, so I knew that I was going to be able to out-wrestle him. I believe I've won that fight before it happened.
Down they go! Big takedown that time. Leo now flattening his back.
And the new EFC featherweight champion!
A new champion was born, but he still had his critics, claiming he'd never been tested, and it would be in his first title defense that he would silence the naysayers.
He dominated most of the rounds, so I knew that I had to finish that fight. You know, one opportunity you're going to give me, then I'm going to take it.
The champion faced adversity and conquered it. Pena would then go on to dominate one of the strongest divisions, brushing aside Terence Chrysler, Wenzel Nell, Abdul Hassan, and Alain Ilunga. The young Angolan from EFC 7 was now the most dominant featherweight champion in EFC history.
The guys in featherweight were a lot bigger than I was. So I think naturally I'm a bantamweight and I feel strong at bantamweight, so that was the better step forward into my career.
A change of divisions for the undefeated Pena and an instant title shot was on the cards. Would Pena become the first athlete in EFC history to hold titles in 2 different divisions?
I knew that I would be a lot stronger than him and I would be a lot better than him on the ground, which I did. I controlled the whole fight. He basically did nothing for the whole fight.
Plays his ball from there, looks for the takedown, and he does. Got to be frustrating for Zulu. Just doesn't seem like he's got an answer for the wrestling of the Pena. Clinical, absolutely clinical display of wrestling by the Pena.
And the new EFC bantamweight champion!
I am the Pena, and I am the undefeated, undisputed EFC bantamweight champion of the world.
You got a guy on a 4-fight win streak that is an underdog. People are already writing him off. People are already saying, we're looking forward to Pena versus Sayed. But the problem is that Cedric Doyle, he's a real deal fighter. This guy has great credentials, and he's going to push the pace and make this a very, very tough title fight.
Cedric the Dominator Doyle made his EFC debut against Nkazimulu Zulu, and although dominating the fight, the result did not go Doyle's way.
Win after being dominated by Doyle. Turns the tables on the debutant.
I definitely learned a lot from the loss of Zulu. I learned that I must get comfortable with the magnitude of the event.
And getting comfortable with the magnitude he did, as 2 events later, Doyle served up a flawless performance, getting his first W inside the hexagon with a first-round TKO victory.
My first win inside the hexagon was amazing. Getting your hand raised is the high that I'm always chasing.
2 more impressive victories followed as Doyle dominated Baldwin Ndlelose and Bune Bukaka. And at EFC 31, Doyle went up against a determined Matthew Bierski.
Matt Bursky is a tough competitor, so I really tried to finish him in that fight, but he is tough, so I was happy with the decision.
There's that big right hand right on the money. Bursky drops to the ground and Doyle was desperate to try and finish. Also kept his composure with Bursky's face right in front of him. Looked like he wanted to knee and then realized it wouldn't be a legal blow. Oh, wow.
Declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Cedric the Dominator, Doyle.
4 wins on the trot for the man from Secunda, but the key to his success lies in his past.
You know, I was in the Air Force for 2 years, 2005 till 2007. I was a bit of a loose cannon growing up in my early 20s, got in a lot of fights. Yeah, I went to the Air Force and it taught me a lot about discipline and, you know, mental toughness. You know, growing up, I was always involved in contact sports. I was doing judo and wrestling with my dad at an early age, so I always liked the physical stuff. You know, it was just progressed into MMA. It was something I really loved and a passion and something I love to do. The Air Force life, the discipline and the commitment the guys have there is the same. It applies to fighting. It is, you need to have discipline, dedication, and yeah, you need to go all out for it. Can definitely relate being in the military to fighting in the cage.
Military life may have prepared Doyle for the hexagon, but is he ready to take on the most successful champion in EFC history?
He's a monster. His technique's getting solid and he's becoming unstoppable.
You know, every training camp for me is fight specific, so I'm definitely working on specific drills to deal with Pena on the night.
With Cedric, you know, he's the perfect fighter because he's on the mat because of one reason, and that's because he wants to fight. He's not caught up in the limelight or the fame. You know, since the day he came and joined us, his head was on getting in the ring, fighting and performing.
We are training that Pena's got no flaws. We are training Pena as the best striker that Cedric will ever face. We are training he's the best wrestler that Cedric will ever face, the best BJJ boy that Cedric will ever face. We are prepping for the best.
We're going to not play games with this guy, you know, so if he's going to do the Mayweather thing by running away, well, we've got a plan for that. And if he's going to do something different, well, we've got a plan for that as well.
Cedric is a strong guy for his weight. He hits hard, his ground is good, his wrestling is very good. So I think Demar might lose this one.
For the last 4 years, I've been training my butt off getting to where I am now. And all my hard work's going to pay off on the 11th of July. I will be the next champ.
The fact of the matter is, there's so many douches in the sport. They think they're so hardcore at the end of the day, and you know, I train so hard, I train so hard, I train so hard. In the back of the, you know, they train once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day, and then they go to their jobs, and you know, I train so hard, I'm so sore, I'm so heavy. It's nothing. Demart is obsessive. He trains all the time. He does train all the time. It's actually quite scary to see.
I bet Cedric Doyle wakes up, let's say, whatever time in the morning, goes for his jog or goes to Virgin Active or whatever, comes back, has to go to work, comes back around 5, does whatever, then goes trains again. I mean, how can you compare it to someone like myself where wake up early, come to the gym, train, rest, train, rest, train, rest, train, rest, train.
A lot of guys, you know, live on ego and live on hype and live on past experiences. Demart doesn't look at his past experiences. Demart looks what's happening tomorrow. What do I need to do tomorrow? What do I need to do to be more dominant, to be more effective, to be more efficient, to be more smart, to be more calculated, to be more deadly? You know, that is what goes through his mind, and that's what makes him, you know, such a deadly force to deal with in the UFC.
When the guys from FM win, people are like, oh, they wonder. It's not a secret, it's just we are professional and we train harder than our competition.
When you talk about Pena's game, what I see is that the wolf is evolving in front of our eyes. Everybody wanted to say, oh, he's laying prey, he's not exciting. But we saw in his last fight against Grunewald that he does have the striking. He has the tool to be a complete champion, and that makes him more dangerous than ever.
On the 11th of July, the undefeated bantamweight champion, Pena, will once again lay it all on the line against the #1 title contender, Cedric Doyle.
Okay, this is his first title fight. I've only had 2 normal fights in my whole career. From my 3rd fight until now, only been title fights. You can't buy that.
You know, it's a percentages game at the end of the day. I say it time and time again. You know, these guys want to come up against Demart and be like, oh, I'm insulted, or... But at the end of the day, Demart is there, 10-0. What has Cedric done? Let's be realistic about it.
Pena is the most dominant champion in the EFC, undefeated in 10 fights. The champion is confident of making it 11 out of 11.
Pena is without a doubt the most dominant champ in EFC. A lot of people have tried to dethrone him and failed. The big question is Cedric Doyle the one that's going to topple the wolf?
I'm definitely the man to defeat Pena. I mean, I'm the most all-rounded guy he's ever going to face.
Cedric is one of those guys, he's a born champion. You know, you just see him train, you see him work, fighting's his passion, it's his life. He's got what it takes, he's got just that style to beat Demart.
He's won 4 in a row, and he's a completely different opponent than what Pena has seen. He's aggressive, he pushes, and he pushes. What's Pena gonna do when the Dominator is coming after him and trying to take that strap?
Will the Wolf once again prove why he is the most successful champion in history? Or will the Dominator be the one to down the champ and claim the glory?
You know, Cedric's probably going to come in the fight and be all aggressive and pop all his firecrackers and, you know, at the end of the day, Demart has all the tools to deal with whatever Cedric has to bring.
He is going to be aggressive. He's always aggressive, and I think the more he senses that he's in control, the more aggressive he becomes.
I handle myself well with the top level guys, and whatever he's going to bring, there's nothing that I haven't faced before and nothing that I can't overcome.
I'm definitely going to be the next EFC bantamweight champion. I'm confident, I'm composed, and I'm motivated to win this fight.
As the most dominant champion in EFC history, finally met his match. EFC 41. The undefeated bantamweight champion, the Wolf Pena, lays his title on the line against the tough and tenacious Cedric Dominator Doyle. Will the champion once again reign supreme, or will there be a new king of the bantamweight division? Plus, 2 middleweights go to war for the vacant title as the former welterweight champion Michiel Opperman takes on the dangerous Liam Cleland. Will Opperman be crowned as a champion again, or will the genius of Cleland get him to the top? EFC 41, Saturday, 11 July, Carnival City. Tickets and broadcast information at efcworldwide.com.